My brother, no wise, decent person would want to wrestle with a pig in the mud. If you wrestle with a pig in the mud, how will you come out like? You come out more messier, more muddy than anything. So that is not for President John Dramani Mahama. He's a decent president whose record is impeccable. His credentials are solid. The people's trust in him is massive. Why does he engage in a messy, muddy? This is somebody who has a credibility, somebody like Dr. Bawumia who has a credibility deficit. He does not. Indeed, I'm just going to remind him that before I left Accra yesterday and in Parliament, we have constituted a parliamentary team led by Honorable Adongo, who is our ranking member on the Finance Committee, to take up the challenge with Dr. Bawumia if he thinks he's a man.
What kind of challenge? You want to debate him?
Yes.
Okay.
That team. This Dr. Bawumia is who says he's a mate. I lie. Can a mate contest an experienced driver? He cannot.
PENDREAM TV there. Osiadem yopo.
First and foremost, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Today is a glorified day in Islam. Friday, one of the most selected days in Islam. And I pray to Allah Almighty that this event that we are organizing here, may Allah Almighty bestow his magnanimity and his boundless mercies on us as a political party and lead us to the inexorable victory, inshallah, on 7th December 2024, and bring in His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and an NDC national majority in Parliament to help to liberate this country. Let me say a good morning to your good self, to my regional chairman, who has exhibited a lot of hard work in trying to get us claw back the requisite level of votes that we have in this region. And he has already spoken about the readiness of the region. They say when the landlord has told you the eloquent story of his house, you don't ask the caretaker for confirmation. I'm sure it's right there, and I want to commend him for that. I want to commend my sister. They say that the good that is already displayed on the market, you don't need to describe the color. With her, she's exhibited that commitment to our party, and more importantly, to the defense and maintenance of the high integrity and stature of our flag bearer, His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama, inshallah, the incoming president on 7th January 2025. And I cannot salute her enough, but to urge her that the race is at the last bend. Let us continue to exhibit that energy to finish, and I'm sure that you don't show an indigene the way to the house. She already knows her job description very well and has discharged it to perfection. Let me say, you see, our people have been saying that it is comparison that disgraces the donkey. When the donkey alone is running, you think it's the assessed animal. Let the horse join the race. Why am I saying this? Today, if Nana Akufo-Addo never was elected as president, many people in Ghana would have been saying that this is a president we never had.
Why do you say so?
Because today, he is the most hopelessly uninspiring leader in the history of our country.
Oh, Honorable, that's unfair to say to the president.
Yes, I'm telling you this.
How can you say that? This
is a president who inherited significant economic growth from His Excellency President Mahama. This is a president who inherited a lot of funds. I can mention the sinking fund, the National Recovery Fund, so many funds in which there were millions of dollars. Today he has run our economy. He and Dr. Bawumia have run our economy aground. Never in the annals of our country's history have we ever been the subject of humiliation, derision, and opprobrium in the international community.
We were hit.
Today Ghana is a laughing stock. Never in our history have we ever reneged on the payment of our debts and meeting our financial obligations. Never in our history. Not even under so-called dictatorial military regimes. Never. Never in our history have we had a government that has been built with so much resources. This government has had more than 4 times what President Mahama had. Just go back and do a comparison of what President Mahama did with less than 1/4 of what this government had. Okay? And yet they have run us aground. Today, we have been booted out of the capital markets. Today, Ghana's economy has been rated junk. Junk. And I'm sure you know what junk means. Useless. By all the rating agencies, Fitch, Moody's, Standards and Poor, all of them have rated Ghana junk. Okay? And they have indicated that from now until about 2036, and let's save for the coming of His Excellency President Mahama.
But Honorable, the argument is that, look, a cut across is a global issue. It's not limited to just Ghana.
My brother, I disagree with you.
Why?
Vehemently.
Why?
Let me ask you one question. What is the inflation rate in Togo here? Just Togo. What is the inflation rate in Cote d'Ivoire? What is the inflation rate in Burkina Faso? Burkina Faso doesn't have 1/10 of the resources Ghana has. They have a single-digit inflation. Togo has a single-digit inflation. Cote d'Ivoire, all our neighbors are operating single-digit inflation. What is the inflation rate in Ghana here? 23%. And even many think that 23% is not truly reflective of what is happening on the ground. But 23%, we have one of the highest inflations on the continent. Okay? Food inflation has even gone through the roof. Under President Mahama, we had, and when President Mahama was handing over on the 7th of January 2017, the inflation rate of Ghana was just about 14.8%, roughly 15%. This government at a certain point took the inflation to 54.5%. I'm sure you can remember that. Okay? Yeah. So we're even operating a hyperinflation under this government.
No, but that's why I make the point that, look, this is as a result of the global.
But I am just asking global. Togo and Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire, they are not part of the global community. How did inflation, Ukraine, COVID and Russia jump over Cote d'Ivoire, jump over Burkina Faso, jump over Togo and come only to Ghana? How can you argue by any stretch of logic that these countries were not affected by COVID? They are not affected by Russia and Ukraine. And even if Russia and Ukraine, Burkina Faso is closer to Russia and Ukraine than Ghana. This will affect even more of the vagaries of the war. It is also, it's down to a hopelessly visionless and incompetent government. A reckless, irresponsible government that goes a borrowing without due cognizance of the country's needs and aspirations. Because let me tell you, my brother, one of the reasons for the borrowing was that Honorable Ken Oporata, Minister for Finance, his company was in charge of the book running for the borrowings. So anytime Ghana borrows, Ken Oporata will get 1.5% of the borrowing. The last count, his enterprise made almost 100 and something billion at the count through Ghana's borrowings. So for every borrowing that we do, he's going to earn money. So that is why they undertook that reckless, irresponsible borrowing. But it was not motivated by the needs and interests and aspirations of our people. It was just on that borrowing spree, and then borrowing to chop and borrowing to loot and share among themselves. That is why we find ourselves in this mess that we are. And all experts have indicated that until we get a government that is truly motivated, that is visionary, that is selfless, like His Excellency President Mahama demonstrated. And that is why I told you that it is comparison that disgraces a donkey. You bring President Mahama's record, you bring Nana Akufo-Addo's record, and you see that Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, they will pale into insignificance because of the record of President Mahama. Look at the indices when NDC was leaving power. I told you inflation was 15%. We were selling a gallon of petrol. Take note of what I'm saying. A gallon of petrol, not a liter. A gallon of petrol for 14 Ghana cedis. Today, a liter of petrol, and take note, it is 4.5 liters that make a gallon. Today, a liter of petrol is more expensive than a gallon of petrol under President Mahama. You can see the difference already. prices of goods and services have escalated beyond doubt, out of the roof. Today, one piece of yam, they are buying one piece of yam 50-60 Ghana cedis. A bag of maize which sold under President Mama for 70 Ghana cedis is today going for 700-800 Ghana cedis. Okay? The total level of indebtedness when President Mama was leaving office on the 7th of January 2017, our total indebtedness from independence to President Mama was 120 billion Ghana cedis. 120 billion. And my sister Joyce just said today, in fact, and this one we are bringing out is as at January this year, 742 billion Ghana cedis under this government in just 7 years.
That's how much we owe.
742 billion Ghana cedis. So take 120. Take 120 from 740. It simply tells you that even them, they have added over 620 billion Ghana cedis in less than in about 7 years. And you ask yourself, what have they used the money for?
We have free SHS. We have planting for food and
when
jobs.
We called the minister for
we've constructed
finance
roads.
to come, he told us that free HSS are taking only 9 billion. What happened to the rest of the money?
Planting for food and jobs.
My brother, that is the most disastrous policy you can even think about. Fighting for food and jobs, they just brought the figure to say that they spent 3 billion. 2.9 something, that's
billion.
roughly 3 billion.
Yeah.
So add that one to this one. What do you get? And we are talking about hundreds of billions of Ghana cedis under this government. Okay? When President Mama was leaving office, the state of the economy was said that we were able to service all our international obligations, both for Euro bonds and other treasury bills locally. Today, under this government, pensioners who have worked all their lives, contributed their monies, have had their monies locked up, and some of them are dying. I'm telling you that this is from members of their own association. Their own members cannot even access their money to buy drugs, and so the pensioners are dying in drifts under the insensitive and wicked leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. Okay? So nothing is working under this government. All that they are doing is going on a plutocracy. They are on the rampage, looting everything from land to resources to whatever they can lay their hands on. Perhaps in the belief that they are on their way to opposition. So everybody is struggling to go and grab for himself something they can grab and go and live in opposition for the next year's coming. So you can see clearly that the nation builder, the record of the nation builder, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, is light years away. That is why today Ghanaians are clamoring for His Excellency President Mahama to come back, because they have tested governance under his watch, and they are now testing governance under President John Dramani and Nana Akufo-Addo. That is why no mean a person, Dr. Bawumia himself, is running away from Nana Akufo-Addo and his own record. You remember in the run-up to the 2016 election, they made a plethora of empty promises to Ghanaians that they are going to create a heaven on earth. They will make this country flow of milk and honey, and Ghanaians to be far away from any difficulties. Today, after 7 years, I think that Ghanaians have seen it. The government said that evidence is better than an oath. Today, they are seeing the record. So the sweetness of the pudding is not in the aroma, it's in the eating.
Okay.
They have tested President Mama's government. They have tested the hopelessly uninspiring government of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, and the Ghanaians are wiser for it. I have no doubt in my mind that on December 7th this year, when we go to the polls, there can be only one outcome, inshallah, and that outcome is a victory for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and an NDC majority, which will bring the NDC to power to rescue this country from the hopelessly uninspiring shambolic performance of the MPP and liberate Ghanaians from the excruciating hardships that they are suffering today.
I'll come back to you. So
the one who has put his opponents back to the ground is the one who can swear his father.
Who can swear his father?
Yes. It means he's done it before.
Okay.
Speaking about my good self as member of parliament, I can tell you that under my watch, and especially under the government of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, from January 2013 to January 2017, the Sanaru constituency witnessed unprecedented development. And I'm saying this for the record. You can put me on the record and go and check. When I was elected member of parliament, there were very grave social and economic challenges in the constituency. About 24 communities since the dawn of time had never seen electricity light. Light had never shone in their areas. More than 32 communities had no water, no potable water. Many of the communities had no school, where the children were walking some long distances to school. The road network was not much to write home about. Within 2 years, and my brother, I'm telling you this to put on the record and go and check. And I'm not asking you to check it just on the region. Go and check it across the length and breadth of Ghana. No such record has existed. That within 2 years, 24 communities had been connected to the national grid under my watch in Sadargo. You can go and check. That is through the synergy between my good self as member of parliament and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama as President of the Republic of Ghana. Okay? We gave all those communities that had no potable water. We brought potable water to their homes. We have built 3 classroom blocks in areas where the children used to walk to school. We built schools there and gave them the opportunity to have education at their doorsteps. Sadargu had hardly any road before I came as member of parliament, together with other secondary and tertiary routes. Today you can see how the place has opened up. Under my watch, we were even teaching computer literacy even in villages. Because we had sent a light there, I donated computers to almost virtually all the areas in the constituency to teach computer literacy even at that early age in addition. Okay? For the first time, through my initiative as member of parliament and with the support of His Excellency President Mahama, we managed to empower women in my constituency to be more productive and to be able to earn income on their own, look after their husbands and their children, and ensure that the homes are peaceful. By developing centers, we had these centers where women who were processing rice, shea butter, and other things. We sought for financial assistance at that time. It was called A.B.A. And we were able to get Kia Tipa trucks, motor kits, seed money to give to the women in their various communities to do that. And we established 4 centers at Weyamba, at Guru, at Sandargu, and at Chishao. My constituents can bear eloquent testimony to what I'm saying. And the women were empowered, and we gave them seed money. And it changed the lives of many people in the constituency. My brother, there's so much that has happened in the constituency that I'm sure we cannot find time and space to say all of it here, save for the other serious questions. But I can tell you without any iota of doubt, if you are going to match the record of the MPP in Sanargu with NDC, MPP will pale into insignificance. They have no record that they can come anywhere close to matching us in Sanargu. So that is why I'm saying that without any iota of doubt, the MPP doesn't deserve to come anywhere near Sanargu, because they have a dismal, abysmal record when it comes to the development of the area. Ever since even these electricity extensions were done, I carried out even extensions now. Go and ask the MPP if they are extended 1 meter of electricity coverage in the constituency. Pipe-borne water. Talk about schools. Even in opposition, my brother, take note of this, and it's another record I want you to check. Even in opposition, I have built more schools in Sadargu than the MPP government in Sanargu. You can check that. So I can say without any iota of doubt that the developmental record of the NDC in Sadargu completely outclasses the MPP, and there's no basis upon which they can seek to even contest the NDC in that constituency. Now you made mention of a point about, is the NDC seeking just to ride on the back of the sufferings of Ghanaians to power? Let me say, by no means, no. In this election, Ghanaians are going to look at a number of criteria, apart from the hopelessly shambolic performance of the MPP, the hopelessly uninspiring nature of their governance. Ghanaians are going to look at, number one, who can they trust? Because they have had the record. Like I said, we have a record in 2016, President Mahama's record, and Dr. Bawumia's record. Dr. Bawumia made a plethora of promises in 2016. President Mahama promised things in 2016 and delivered. Now we are going to look at the delivery of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and it is on record. I am not the one saying it. Go and Google the greatest liar and see whose name is going to pop up. Because I have said it, Dr. Bawumia suffers from a huge credibility deficit. And that's why I said that even if he greets you good morning, he means you and greets you good morning. Look at the position of the sun before you respond. He lacks credibility. And so Ghanaians are going to take that credibility issue very serious. Who can make promises, who can deliver? Ghanaians are more interested in the delivery than the rhetoric. My sister Joyce just said it here, that they promise one village, one dam. Not so. What does one village, one dam mean? Because you see, in 2016 he told us that every village in Ghana, every village, and take note, every village in Ghana was going to have a dam. That's why they coined the phrase one village, one dam. What became of the dams? Because some of them, even in the rainy season, my brother, even in the rainy seasons, in some of the dams there was no water. So if there's no water even a dam in the rainy season, what will happen in the dry season? In fact, I remember we raised, including my good self, this issue on the floor of Parliament and called the minister to come and answer. And that time I think that was how I could see. She came and admitted on the floor of Parliament that the monies the government gave was so paltry, was so meager, was so insignificant that they could not construct any dam. And she asked us, how can you construct a meaningful dam with 250,000 Ghana cedis? That was the answer to the question, by herself admitting that it was a catastrophic failure. Okay, one district, one factory. Today Ghana spends more than 400 million this in importing just fruits and this in for drinks. We have one district, one factory in place. What has happened? It is a catastrophic failure. We have challenged them to name for us in any district where there is one viable district with a functioning factory, with an industrial base. It's rich. They can't mention anything. Okay? They indicated every constituency was going to receive $1 million every year. My brother, they did not even get one CD a year under their watch. It never happened. Planting for food and jobs that you just mentioned, closer to 300 million Ghana cedis has been spent. Go and find out the result. Today we have the highest food prices ever in the history of our country. I just told you that one yam sells for 60, 70 Ghana cedis, even in some parts of Accra. And even here in our local market here, it's shocking. Go and ask about the prices of yam and other staples. I gave you that under President Mahama, a bag of maize sold for 70 Ghana cedis. Today in some areas it sells over 700 Ghana cedis. So that is why we have the highest food price deficit. So it is going to be down to who can you trust. I know that who is tried, tested and proven. President Mahama is tried, tested and proven. Okay? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has never come anywhere near the presidency. In fact, if we are to take his own words, he says that he has only been a mate. This one I'm not the one saying, I'm sure you have heard him say that he's only a mate. How do you compare a mate to an experienced driver? If you have a vehicle and you want to give it to somebody to drive, and two people apply, one is an experienced driver of so many years, another has just been a mate who has been following somebody, and he himself tells you that he's a mate. Will you give that car to the mate to drive the car when you have an experienced driver? So I believe that Ghanaians were not going to make that mistake again. And you remember in 2016, Nana Akufo-Addo came and told Ghanaians that try me and see. Today Ghanaians have tried him and we are seeing disastrous results. He has plunged us into a ravine where coming out has become a Herculean task for us. Ghanaians are suffering unprecedented hardship ever in the history of our country. So how can we make a mistake? The Gombe said that don't let bees bite you and flies will bite you again. So we have been bitten by the bees. That's enough. No longer will we allow these flies to come back and bite us. So we are talking about experience versus experiment. When you have experience, you don't rely on experiment because you don't know the result of the experiment. You are just trying to see what you get. But experience tells you the result that we are going to get. So clearly, if you look at all the indices that I've talked about, trust, testless, proven, credibility, integrity, all those attributes rest more with President John Dramani Mahama. And so Ghanaians having tested that will not make the mistake of going back to this hopelessly uninspiring Nana Akufo-Addo Dr. Bawumia government to give them another mandate. So clearly, now we are talking about other issues of corruption. Never in the annals of our country's history, if you want to go by the record, President Mahama, while in office, even when it was just even a statement that had some intention into the future, President Mahama acted. You remember there was a deputy minister who just indicated that the ambition is to make $1 million. She didn't engage in any act of corruption. But that alone for President Mahama was not good enough for a minister under his government. President Mahama asked that he took off the deputy minister. Under Nana Akufo-Addo, they are committing corruption under his nose. And he said, "Oh, master, go home, don't worry, I will clear you very soon." That is why
he said that.
Oh, my brother, that's why he has ended. I'm sure you know his title.
The action.
He's the chief clearing agent for corruption.
Yeah, he has debunked all of that.
We are saying that the evidence speaks louder than.
But honorable, you accept the fact that the court is solely there to determine who and who is corrupt. So if the court comes out to exonerate somebody, what can the president do?
Master, who has gone to court? They have not even sent. He has not even
some of these scandals, there were committees that were set up to investigate.
My brother, I'm saying that no single evidence of President Akufo-Addo sending any of them to court. Not one of them. Not a single one of them has been prosecuted. And I'm telling you, are you telling me in all sincerity that of all the stinking ones, from the Ken Bond 2.2 billion through the vanishing 3 million liters of oil to the even the one he himself, the corruption he himself, Nana Akufo-Addo, perpetrated? I'm sure you heard of the A.B.A deal. When the NDC crafted the A.B.A deal, it was $530 million. And Nana Akufo-Addo, then in opposition, shouted to the high heavens that it was laden with corruption, and that a project like that was vitiated with corruption, when they come to power, they are going to investigate it. They truly came to power and attempted investigating it. Even sent a delegation to A.B.A to go and find out. When they came back, they found nothing. And instead, Nana Akufo-Addo himself did a corrupt act. And let me tell you what that corrupt act is. He raised the amount from 530 million to 1.3 billion and gave it executive approval. Executive approval means that it will not go through the rigorous process of scrutiny through all to cabinet to parliament. He gave it executive approval and brought it to parliament.
Okay.
So do you know why the former minister for energy, Ejaku, why Ejaku resigned? One of it is because of the corruption Nana Akufo-Addo was trying to perpetrate in the A.B.A deal. So the man himself is corrupt.
Okay.
His appointees are corrupt.
Very well.
Corruption does it. So he has no moral guts to fight corruption. And listen to me, my brother, on this.
So you land on that for me.
No mean a verdict. It was Nana Akufo-Addo who appointed Martin A.B.A as the special prosecutor. Is he not the one who appointed him?
Yeah.
To prosecute the battle against corruption. What was the verdict of Martin Amidu before he left office? He said Nana Akufo-Addo is the mother serpent of corruption. Analyze that in English. You know a mother serpent. You already know what a serpent is.
So imagine
not to talk of a mother serpent. He is the chief, the paramount chief, the overlord of corruption. This is Martin Amidu. I'm not the one who is saying it. And so by extension, the Bawumia, the Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia corrupt is intrinsically corrupt.
Okay.
To the marrow. And so they have no iota of commitment to fight corruption. Look at the Galamsey, his own minister, Frimpong Boateng. You know, when we were here, they made some lie in the 2016 that some guinea fowls flew to Burkina Faso. I'm sure you heard that. Under their watch, Aboboya in Tamale here, in their handress, flew from the factory at Sada. Not only that, this time caterpillars. Look at how heavy a caterpillar machine is. Look at how heavy this galamsey digging equipment is. Over 700 of them grew wings and flew away. This is the testimony as evidence from the assertion of Honorable Fenton Boati, Minister for this thing. And he said that the whole party apparatus, from regional chairman, constituency chairman, and others, are all neck deep in galamsey and corruption.
Okay.
So the entire this is a corrupt enterprise. So when it comes to corruption, I'm sure the verdict is clear. Go and look at the Transparency International. Their rankings on corruption. President Mahama scored the highest under his watch. Since that result, Ghana has never come anywhere close because of the corruption. But my brother, let me end on this cost of living note, because I was in Parliament during the presentation of the media budget. This is one of the most hopeless documents I've ever seen in my 12 years in Parliament. Look, when your country is in crisis, when your people are suffering such serious levels of deprivation, when your people are immersed in such throes of hunger and starvation in many areas, if you cannot come out with a package to incentivize them, like increasing salaries, because salaries since the days have not been increased. Take note that just in this July, utility prices went up. Electricity, water, gas, all of them went up. So in circumstances like that, if you cannot provide some relief for your people by hiking their salaries and conditions of service, at least the least you can do is to step down the level of taxation. Today, Ghana is the most extortionate taxation entity. In fact, I will even say in the world, not just in West Africa. Our people are so extortionately taxed that in the latest edition by the Ghana Statistical Service, they say 3.3 million Ghanaians have further sunk deeper into the throes of poverty as we speak. So the least you can do is to have removed, we in the opposition had described for them a number of nuisance taxes. We have ended COVID. What is the COVID levy still doing in the gamut of taxes? What is COVID levy doing? Why are you still maintaining it? There is a Bola tax to clean the country. In fact, the country is dirtier now than it has ever been. No cleaning is taking place. There are so many nuisance taxes. If you look at the petroleum price build-up alone, about 41% of it is laden with taxes. So if the government had just taken away these taxes, the price of a gallon of petrol will come down. That will cushion and bring some relief to Ghanaians. That will help stem the tide of escalating food prices. So if you are a government that is sensitive to the interests and plight of the suffering of your people, if you cannot give them money, you take away the taxes. That will bring down the level of taxation and provide some relief for them.
Okay.
This thing has not been done, and not a single policy to alleviate suffering of the people was done. So what was the purpose of the budget?
I want.
Thank you very much. First, I would like to shed some bit of more light on what my regional chairman said in terms of the debate.
Okay.
My brother, no wise, decent person would want to wrestle with a pig in the mud. If you wrestle with a pig in the mud, how will you come out like? You come out more messier, more muddy than anything. So that is not for President John Dramani Mahama. He's a decent president whose record is impeccable. His credentials are solid. The people's trust in him is massive. Why does he engage in a messy, muddy, this with somebody who has a credibility, somebody like Dr. Bawumia who has a credibility deficit? He does not. Indeed, I'm just going to remind him that before I left Accra yesterday and in Parliament, we have constituted a parliamentary team led by Honorable Adongo, who is our ranking member on the Finance Committee, to take up the challenge with Dr. Bawumia if he thinks he's a man
What kind of challenge? You want to debate him?
Yes.
Okay.
That team. This Dr. Bawumia is who says he's a mate. I lie. Can a mate contest an experienced driver? He cannot. Monkeys play by sizes. He's not the size of President Dramani Mahama. Why would he waste his time to debate him? And in any case,
what does that mean?
You haven't finished writing with Peter, you are looking for Paul. He has a battle with the good people of this country. He promised the good people of this country that Ghana will be turned into a heaven where the land will flow of milk and honey. Where is the milk and honey?
So in this case, the people of Ghana are Peter?
Not only Peter, angry.
Okay.
And deservingly so.
Okay.
So his first point of call is to go appease the people of Ghana. Is to go apologize to the good people of the Ghana. I promise you I was going to make this country heaven on earth. The country will flow of milk and honey. Conditions of life was going to be better. I'm sorry I have messed all of you up. I'm looking for forgiveness. That is the first thing you should do. He has no business wanting to, because he wants to find a way of cleansing himself. He's so dirty in the mud that his credibility is in tatters already. So I'm sure that President Mahama should not lend him any lease of life by giving him the opportunity to come and smear some of his mud on him. He should not. Now let me come to this issue of social intervention. The biggest social intervention in this country, and I say anybody can take me and let's argue on it. The biggest social intervention in this country has been taken under the aegis of our founder and the antecedents of the NDC. That is the extension of electricity from the southern part of the country to the northern part. Never in the annals of our country's history have we had that largest decision apart from the reign of Osajifu Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. That was done under the regime of President Jerry John Rawlings, the founder of the NDC. Many people are young people, and for that matter, they don't know that in Tamale here there was a time when we had 4 hours of light. So they will give this area 4 hours, they will go and give another area 4 hours, and they will rotate it because we are using a generator. The generator was at Waterworks. That is where the electricity company of Ghana was, with the generator. It took the NDC and the antecedents of the NDC, from the PNDC and the President Jerry John Rawlings, and then into the NDC to do that electricity from the north to from the south to the north. Indeed, when they were going to do it, the same Busia Danko people, these people, the forebears of the MPP, said that why was President Rawlings interested in extending electricity from the south to the north, and that it was economically a waste. So their first anchor was that it was economically not sound for electricity to be extended from the south to the north. And when President Rawlings shut it down, they then brought technical concerns that it was not technically feasible to be able to get pylons all the way from the south to the north, and even cited a very spurious reason like the black and the white voters were stumbling blocks to getting it across. But it was done, and today, by case of that, the NDC came and built upon. We extended electricity to closer to 79% of the people. Since the MPP came, they just added just 1-2%. So they cannot compare their record with the NDC.
Okay.
It's like somebody has given you electricity, and somebody has brought the poles, brought the pylons, brought the lights, strung the wires, done the insulators, brought the transformers, done everything, and then you come and put a bulb there and say you have given him electricity. Between the two of you, who has brought light to the place? So they are light years away. So based on the track record of the NDC, from the time of President Rawlings of blessed memory, President Atta Mills of blessed memory, and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, they have always stood for the good people of this country. Okay. And especially for those of us in the north. If there's anybody we should embrace now, it's President Mahama more than anybody. In all spheres of our life, President Mahama has shown that concern and action, making sure that conditions of life are better for us in any area. Take education. No government in the MPP can match its record against the educational facilities and infrastructure President Mahama has built in the north here. And especially from when our running mate and incoming Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, in her stewardship as the first Vice Chancellor and then later as Minister for Education, she superintended massive development of infrastructure across the country and especially in the north here. Go to even rural communities, you see education infrastructure that will even amaze you. The secondary school improvement projects, the conversion of our polytechnic into technical universities, our teaching colleges into colleges, university colleges of education, and all the infrastructure that accompanied the elevation of those institutions. They have come under NDC.
Okay.
Health. This our hospital where we have to boast of as one of our key infrastructure has been given that lease of life by the NDC. From President Rawlings to President Mills, now to His Excellency President Mahama. After we Muslims, I don't even say again. Since Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came as Vice President for almost 3 years, he should tell us Muslims what he has done for us. Even there was a problem with girls passing at Wesley Girls. As Vice President, he ran away from the issue. He could not even intervene. But you see what His Excellency President Mahama has done for us. Not the least, the construction of the airport here. I was a deputy minister in this region, and we saw what amount of work and resources that went into the prosecution of those projects. Massive, in the supreme interest of this thing. And before he left, he had secured funding, and they were starting the second phase of the airport.
Okay.
The same thing happened in the Kumasi International Airport and other infrastructure. Kotoka. Look at Ghana is being hailed today as the beacon of prosperity in the West African sub-region. When people are entering the country for the first time and they come through our airports, that's earned us colossal respect as a country that is forward-looking and visionary. That is the work of President John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
So what I want to say is that they say the man, when you see a frog on top of a tree, it means the person who is propping it is nearby.
If you see a frog,
yes, a frog doesn't climb tree.
On top of a
but
tree.
If you see a frog on the tree, somebody has propped it up there.
Okay.
It is our good people here, and I want to plead with my brothers and sisters in the northern region. I want to beg everybody. All of us are human. I sitting here, I'm human. I must have offended somebody. You have also offended somebody. But there is a greater fight for us to rescue this country. I shudder to think, may Allah not punish us or try our faith again by bringing Bawumia again.
Okay.
I am praying that we in the NDC, first and foremost in this region, must temper our egos. There are too many egos that are blown up and people are fighting over their personal egos than making sure that the NDC comes back to power to rescue this country. And so I know the volume of work the chairman and others have done.
Okay. I'm
praying to everybody. All opinion polls, whether you are talking about Fitch, Moody's, you are talking about the Economic Intelligence Unit, all the other things have predicted that NDC we are going to win.
Okay.
But you see, let us not rest on our OS. As the chairman said, let us go to every corner of the region, every corner of our constituencies, and campaign like we are even from behind.
Okay.
Let us work like we are even losing, and ensure that every single vote on that will come out. And I also want us to also make sure the chairman touch on that point. How to protect our ballots.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have heard the MPP through their officials and others attempting to frighten Ghanaians that they will never hand over power. I am telling them that if they think that there's no gravity, they should jump and let's see whether they will suspend.
All right.
I am telling you that the good people of this country, when, and I'm not saying if, when they have voted for President Mahama and voted for our parliamentary candidates, the force that will carry the MPP out of power, it will be greater than they think.
Okay.
I'm quoting my right honorable Speaker Alban Bagbin. The power of the people is greater than the people in power.
Okay.
So let them take judicious notice that on the 7th of December, when the good people of this country have voted for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, they will be swept away like a hurricane. They cannot stand in the path of the good people of this country in the choice that they have made to rescue this country from the hopelessly incompetent leadership of President Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. The day is coming, and I can tell you without any atom of doubt, Ghana, the celebration that will greet President Mahama's return will be like the second independence of Ghana.
Very well. I'm grateful. Before we go, Honorable Joyce, I want you to tackle an issue about the Women Bank as well. But Honorable A.B.A, a texter or a viewer says Bawumia is promising mobile phones for the youth.
You see, the MPP,
but the youth, we want mobile phones
because they are hopelessly under-delivered. And that is a strategy. I just told you in my constituency in Sanago, and the chairman mentioned it. They were sharing COVID money like toffee. And they came to my constituency, they were sharing 200 notes. They shared money in the last election in 2020. They shared election in my constituency for 3 days. The 200 Ghana notes. And the simple strategy is that these are stolen monies. When they bring the monies, take them. But make sure that your conscience is not compromised. Okay. And vote for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. So, Masa, it's a funny scheme. Bawumia is known for funny things. It's a policy scheme that he's bringing.
Oh,
if you bring a smartphone,
by little,
say even iPhone, you can sell it for 13,000 and others, and you are going to pay 1 CD per month.
There are techno phones that are sold at 450 cedis.
So I'm saying that the minimum you pay is about 1,000 cedis. So even for 1 CD per phone, you are going to take 1,000 months. How many is 1,000 months?
But if you have no job, how do you even go and get
in the first place? So let me say that in clear terms. Whatever they bring, they can even bring an elephant to your house. Take it.
What is even going to be the most?
And make sure that the right thing is done.
Okay.
It is our resources they are looting. I'm sure now you are seeing that they are looting everything and anything in sight. Land, money, everything they are looting. So if they bring anything, take it. That is your looted money.
Okay. And
make sure that you do the right thing and vote for His Excellency President Mahama and our parliamentary candidates across the length and breadth of the country.
Honorable, thank you. Thank you so much for making time for us. But
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV. I see a lot of people are moving from the traditional media to the social media. And PENDREAM, you are setting the pace because you bring the issues as they are. And the those are the issues. And then Nipa are not ready for just ordinary endorsement. But people want to hear the issues. What are the issues? What are the possible solutions? So for me, I'm endorsing PENDREAM TV. And I'm recommending Obi Biana who affiliated traditional media and wire board with it, I'm going to live up to expectation. Your next last stop, PENDREAM TV.